I'd nearly left right then, because home was something I didn't deserve. Not after what I'd done. But I'd somehow still ended up inside Brewed, the combined coffee shop and bar, drawn toward the reason I'd come to a stop in the middle of the street in the first place. Staring and trying to make myself understand that what I was seeing was real. But seeing him had changed everything. Made my time away from here a living thing. Made the past come rushing back. Made my chest ache. Because the guy who'd stared at me like I just might be a hallucination or a bad joke was a grown man, and I'd been remembering him as an annoying teenager all these years. And it fucking hurt to see the difference 9.5 years had made. It hurt to see that my little brother looked just like our dad, whose death my entire family blamed me for. I dragged my hands through my hair and over my face as I stepped out of the unnervingly silent shop, walking away from him and the gawking people and Emberly Olsen. "Get out. You're not welcome here." Her demand and reminder as she'd stared at me with horror and contempt replayed in my mind, driving home the knowledge that I should have stayed gone. Why I ever thought coming here would be a good idea, I didn't know. "Kaysen." I stopped a couple spaces from my truck in my brother's harsh tone, debating on whether or not to keep walking, to hear him out or apologize for thinking I could do this. I bit out a curse and turned to find him looking all kinds of pissed. 9 years. More than that, he said, his teeth clenched tight. "Why now?" I spread my arms out to the sides before letting them fall. "I thought you'd at least be happy. Fuck. 9 years, he ground out. "I've had to watch Mom break for 9 fucking years over you, so tell me why you're back now." Damn if that didn't hurt. I struggled to keep my outer appearance neutral as his words seeped in, as I tried to wade through the chaos in my mind. I'd spent so long trying to justify my absence and refusing to acknowledge the pain that came with it, that I hadn't realized exactly how much I'd missed my family until Sawyer had been right in front of me. I wanted to hug him. I wanted to apologize for so many damn things. But a bigger part of me wanted to leave before I could make this worse. That pain I felt, my family had their share. And after his initial reaction, after Emberly's, I couldn't help but wonder if my being there would just reopen old wounds they'd spent years healing. I cleared my throat and answered, "There isn't work on the rig right now. Almost everyone got sent home until further notice." Doubt lined his face and made my heart race as I silently begged him to accept it, knowing he might call me out for it. "That isn't the first time that's happened since you left." "I know, Sawyer." I was well aware of all the other times I'd had a chance to come back here and hadn't. "I know." When he only continued to watch me, waiting for a better explanation, I pushed my fingers roughly through my hair as I thought of what all to say, what truths to tell him, as I fought back the apologies and pleas for him to forgive me for something he couldn't understand. A breath of a curse escaped me, and my arms fell to my sides as I offered him the only truth I was able to part with. "After what happened with you a few months ago, I felt like I was failing you. Like I wasn't there for you when you needed me. So I'm here." "We needed you 9 years ago," he said, tone dripping with barely restrained resentment. "As for failing me?" A harsh laugh escaped him. "First, like you just said, that was months ago. Second, there are 2 other brothers you've forgotten about completely." I went still at the mention of them. Jaw clenched tight so I wouldn't respond. Hands curled into fists to try to take my mind off the deep ache and bitterness that formed whenever I thought about them. Sawyer had been the only one to continue reaching out in the beginning for reasons other than to cast guilt. When his longtime girlfriend had died just weeks after our dad, I'd begun calling him every week to check on him, to let him know I still cared. He was the only one I'd kept in touch with these past 9 years. But Bo and Hunter, our older brothers, the 3 of us hadn't spoken in all this time. There were only so many calls I could handle.